Hello everyone, welcome back to Budget Sportsman. Thank you so much for joining me on today's video. Today I'm back at one of my favorite places, and it is a gorgeous day at the lake. Now, as you know, I filled a couple of doe tags and my one Pennsylvania buck tag already, but Pastor Nathaniel still has a couple of tags, and so we decided to come down here and do a little bit of boat access hunting again. Looking forward to it. Right now we're going to go do some scouting, and the reason we're wearing orange is because last time I was here there were so many squirrels, and so I brought a little 22 pistol, and if we get into a bunch of squirrels we may have to try to do a little plinking, but for right now we're just going to do some scouting and check out some new areas. And if we don't find anything, we'll go back to some areas I'm already familiar with, but for now we're just going to check out some new stuff. Let's go exploring. Right now we're on a peninsula. It's really cool. The lake wraps out around this point, and it's like a mile long, and it's only 150 yards wide. So I don't know if deer would use it or not. We're just checking it out to see if anything would be traveling down this peninsula. You'd be able to really cover it well. What a gorgeous view though. Just gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous view. So we just kept working our way up this peninsula back toward the main section of land and found an oak, which I'm not seeing acorns on the ground right now. But there's actually a scrape, and it's probably really hard to see on camera. There's actually a scrape right there. Now it's not super duper fresh, but that tells me for sure that deer are coming out and using this peninsula. Now I don't know if we're gonna come back here and hunt or not, but I just told Pastor Nathaniel I can't imagine a cooler place to hunt than getting up on this hill just a few more yards and just hanging out in a tree and being able to literally see lake over there right now. And I think if I got up in a tree I'd pretty easily be able to see a lake over there too. So this is a cool spot. There are a few acorns on the ground. Mostly I'm just seeing caps. This is an incredibly cool spot. Well guys, I'm kind of getting a little bit excited about this spot. My only problem is I don't know if they use it daytime, nighttime, but there's just a row right at the high point of this peninsula. There's a row of red oaks. There's trails. We found a bunch of scrapes, a bunch of rubs, but none of the sign looks really, really fresh. So that's my only concern. We're gonna keep pushing up the peninsula and up onto the main mountain and see if we can't find some of that really, really fresh sign. Well guys, we just found this beautiful spot here. It's for how steep everything is, it's a flat little spot. I would love to come camp here looking out over the lake, and there's turkey scratchings everywhere. I'd love to come camp here in turkey season. Not sure if you're allowed to do that, but right in this little spot we've just seen 2 or 3 squirrels, so we're just gonna sit down for a minute. Got the revolver out and see if maybe one of these squirrels won't pop out and give us a chance.
Right there. Right there. Did you get it? No, I didn't. I just laughed like, oh, this is this little squirrel. Man, I had him like right here. I'm like, there's no way I can miss. I'm like, are you on him? Are you on him? Are you filming? The thing popped up and was like, what's that? You don't think I hit him at all, do you? That second time, the way he ran. I think he got close, but he would have been flopping if you had nicked him. That was so funny.
Well, we're just coming back down off the top there, coming back down and toward the peninsula. Found a scrape and a rub, and then another rub, and we were coming out on like this little point, and I thought to myself, you know, a buck could bed here. Walk up, and I see what looks like a bed. There's some scat. There's some fresh scat over there. That's the freshest scat we've seen. So I don't know what this does for us. I mean, this buck is untouchable. I mean, where he's bedded here, he can see everything down over this valley. It's really interesting. I'm not sure if it helps us at all, but it's really interesting. So we'll keep looking for some more sign. This is absolutely gorgeous. We're just coming down this spine, looking out over the lake. It's a calm day. The lake is calm. This is just gorgeous. Well, we made it back down here to the boat, and it was just amazing to me. I thought we'd find a bunch of sign up high on the mountain, but as we got back down, just more and more sign the further down we came. And there's a scrape line along here that just is getting us excited. So we don't really know. Again, could be a nighttime spot, but we kind of ran out of time, used up a lot of our time scouting, and So I think what we're gonna do is we're just gonna make some lunch right here on the beach, get ready, and we're gonna go set up in a tree for the last couple hours of the day, because we don't have a lot of time to go scout and set up new places and so forth. But we didn't even get our camp set up. We'll have to do that after dark, but that's okay. We're just gonna have some lunch and get in the tree.
We decided to hunt here where all the buck scrapes are at, and pretty excited, hoping to get my first deer with a bow, and hopefully we'll see something really cool spot. Looking out over the lake this way, looking out over the lake that way. So hope we get something. Wishes the best of luck.
Good morning, everyone. As you probably saw, we didn't have any action last night, so we went down to the campground, stayed overnight. We're back in the same tree we were last night. And when we left last night, I left a cell cam here, and about 11 o'clock, a little buck went by. Now, that was pretty cool. He went out onto the peninsula, and I was really hoping that he wouldn't come back by light time, so we would know something was out there. Well, about 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, he came back the other way. So as I suspected, it's probably a nighttime thing that they're using this, but either way, it's a beautiful spot. We've had a great morning. We heard a bunch of turkeys up here, had a bald eagle fly right over our heads, just had a pileated woodpecker fly over our heads. Beautiful view out over the lake. So we're gonna sit here for a while and then maybe go do some scouting or have another crack at some squirrels with a pistol. Well, guys, both of us were feeling kind of antsy this morning and not feeling real confident that we were going to see any daytime deer movement there. So we got down. It's not really too late in the morning yet, but it is a gorgeous morning on the lake. The water is so calm. Weather's pleasant, a little cool this morning, but it's going to get nice and warm today. So we're just going to go ahead and do a little scouting and probably midday do some more squirrel hunting. We had a lot of fun with that yesterday just for a few minutes. And just have a good time out here, just enjoying ourselves. We're not putting a lot of pressure about getting a deer. We'd love to get past Nathaniel deer, but not putting a lot of pressure, just having a good old time. Well, guys, we just walked out this peninsula, and we were almost all the way out to the end. And I said, I don't think there's any deer out there. We haven't been seeing a sign for a while. And I almost turned around. We still had about 75 yards to go. And then Pastor Nathaniel said, oh, there's deer. And there's a buck and a doe in this thick patch all the way up against the water. He had her pinned down. I want to show you where these deer were bedded. We're on the point of the peninsula. There's water. There's water there, there. And then you can't see it, but it continues all the way around the other side of that hill. And that buck had that doe bedded down right here in this thick stuff right down here, pinned up against the edge of the water. I've heard of that happening, but I've never seen it with my own eyes. That's a education for sure. So we're back in the boat. We finished up our little scouting mission. Certainly learned a few things. It was good to see that buck and the doe. That's the first buck I've ever seen in this area hunting here. And so we're gonna head back to camp now. We're gonna pack up the tent, pack up all of our stuff, get ready so we can buzz out of here after the evening hunt. But on the way, I think we're gonna take a look at some of these peninsulas and see if maybe there's another buck got a doe pinned up in one of the ends of these peninsulas. So let's go for a ride. So anyways, we're gonna head up this hill. We're going to a new spot tonight. It's a spot I was at in muzzleloader as well as in turkey season. Both times saw deer up here. So hoping that we can keep a running streak going here. And hopefully last time when we came down here for muzzleloader season, my brother-in-law and I shot my my deer on the last night. So hopefully for Pastor Nathaniel's sake that the same thing happens tonight. We're gonna head up this hill. Try to move up, not into the bedding area, but hopefully move up toward a bedding area up here, and hopefully we see some deer moving tonight. Wish us luck. We just stepped up off the lake, and this is a definite pinch point. We were gonna work up away from the pinch point up onto the hill. But right here is a trail with a little tree that's rubbed to the point where it's broken off. So that's a good sign. There's a buck somewhere in the area. Well, we walked like 10 more feet, found a fresh scrape and a killer trail. But again, I think this is the same kind of situation as where we were hunting last night and this morning. Probably pretty good chance nighttime activity. It'd be really interesting to see, put a trail camera here and see what crosses right here, because there's water like 10 yards that way and 30 yards that way. So anyways, we're gonna work up this hill away from this point, hopefully closer to bedding, and get us into a place where we can get some nighttime activity. Well, we made it up here, got up into a tree, all the way coming up this ridge behind us. There was some good trails, a good sign of deer using those trails, some really fresh scrapes. And so we made it up to this little saddle. It's not very obvious, but it's just enough of a saddle here, and there's all kind of little trails crisscrossing. It's a little bit open right here. So, feeling pretty good about it. I know there's some bedding further up this hill. I've never hunted this spot, just kind of walked up a couple times in turkey season, muzzleloader season, just kind of scouting. But know there's some bedding further up there, so really hoping that they're going to come from that bedding down off this hill and go down into the lower ground here, down by the lake toward evening. It's neat seeing the scrapes and rubs down the bottom. And, hope we get one. Well, y'all, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this trip. It's really neat part of the story that you guys didn't get to see, but coming up the hill here, Pastor Nathaniel and I stopped and we prayed and said, Lord, please help us to pick the right tree in the right place to see deer and to get a shot opportunity. And the fact that that all happened is really neat. And I want to praise the Lord. You know, He can guide us in those things. So that's really cool. Unfortunately, you saw the shot. The shot was very high. As far as we can tell, probably just went through back straps. And probably just maybe 10 minutes after the shot, they came back way down the hill there, and it looked like pretty much the whole group. And they knew something was up, so they started looking up here and started snorting and ran off. So they snorted. Like I said, Pastor Nathaniel's not been feeling well all day, and that adrenaline rush, I think, kind of piqued his headache. So we're going to go ahead and call it a trip. It's been an awesome trip. Learned a lot about hunting public land, especially in this place. Sat in some beautiful places. Really disappointed for Pastor Nathaniel. I'm sure he's kind of bummed. He's being a good sport and letting me put this on YouTube. Aren't you glad you don't have friends who film your hunts and show off your mistakes? But it's all right. It was my mistake because I told him to draw. And it was probably the best time to draw as far as not getting picked off, but he had to hold a long time before they came here and gave him a good, clear broadside shot. So, anyways, anything you want to add?
Oh, enjoyed it a lot. It's a good experience. Wish I could have gotten that one, but just need to go out and practice shooting more. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. It happens. It happens to everybody, whether you want to admit it or not. We're going to get down. We're going to at least check the arrow, but from everything that the video showed and everything that we could see of the way she ran off, she's going to be just fine. And anyways, it's a good trip, good hunt. Sure enjoyed the beauty of God's creation. Sure enjoy hanging out together with Pastor Nathaniel. Until next time, remember to get off YouTube and get outdoors into God's great creation.